Hey, a pleasant good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us on the Horns Report. I'm Billy Gates, and alongside with me today, it's not Roger Wallace, but it's this guy who's just about as good,
if not better.
If not better. Noah Gross, KXAN sports reporter, and today we are talking men's and women's basketball for UT. Two different results in their last games. I will start with the men first. They lose to Texas Tech at home in the Big 12 opener there at Moody Center on Saturday, 78-67. Texas Tech hasn't won in Austin on a regular basis, but they looked pretty good against the Longhorns on Saturday. No, you and I were both there. I mean, just kind of what were your takeaways from the game?
I thought Texas might struggle. Tech is better than people think, especially with Pop Isaacs on the floor. We will see what happens with him and kind of everything surrounding him off the floor. But he was there. He put up a whole lot of points for Texas Tech. So they're a very good team. I frankly thought they should have been ranked in the new AP poll. They're just a receiving votes team while Texas hangs in at number 25. I thought Texas might struggle for a couple reasons. And I asked Coach Ronnie Terry about this postgame. They're a team that's clearly still working through some things. You saw the brace there on Shedrick's back. He struggled in this game before that fall. He was kind of struggling defensively, wasn't able to do much offensively. Brock Cunningham, well, he had 0 points and did foul out, which is not like the best stat line. That's just kind of a Brock game sometimes, and what he does on the floor is not really stat line stuff. But Texas working through getting Dylan Disu back, their best player at the end of last season, who's clearly not himself. Tried to get the alley-oop there on the oop, but he's not 100% yet, so it's going to take a while for him. The 5 new transfers. First, Big Z's Zarek Onyema did not touch the floor at all when he was the star of the scrimmage early in the season, so we'll see if he's able to crack some rotation minutes. But, Billy, the combination of now Shedrick hurt at the end of the game, although Coach seemed not too worried about it, them working to Sue back in, and these transfers, that's their first Big 12 game. I'm not surprised it kind of went like that. So I'm not worried about Texas yet because I kind of expected a game like that. Despite, as you said, Tech, this is a rather rare result for them.
Yeah, and earlier in the week, Brock Cunningham spoke on the media availability that the men's team had. And he said that getting Dylan back into the fold, back to the rotation, it's going to take a little bit. Obviously, he's been practicing for a while, but he's only played this would have been the 6th game back for Disu after that off-season foot surgery that he had. That kept him out of the Elite Eight game last season that lost to Miami. But yeah, I mean, I think this team's going to hit its stride, let's say, middle of the Big 12 season. And obviously, you want to be playing your best at the end of the season, right? You want to be playing your best in March. And I don't think there's any reason why this team can't be playing that well at when March Madness hits.
Yeah, I mean, last year's Texas team, which everyone loves to compare this team to last year's team, did that. I mean, they were playing their best in March, and as they were hoping to get to April. Brock Cunningham said that in the media availability as well. You want to be playing your best basketball late in the season, and I mean, Texas certainly is not right now, and I think they know that. So they didn't seem worried post-game. Interested to see how those transfers respond for me, because obviously guys like Tyrese Hunter, Brock Cunningham, Dylan Mitchell have been through the grind of the Big 12. Albeit now there's these 4 new teams, Houston kind of leading that charge, and I mean, Cincinnati and BYU look outstanding this year.
Yes.
So just interested to see how those transfers respond as we move further, and then also lineup changes. As we said, Zarek Onyema looked healthy to me. We were shooting right next to the bench and did not touch the floor at all. Dylan Disu still not starting, working his way back in. So if it's going to be Brock Cunningham sticking in the lineup, if there's going to be, I thought Kendall Weaver, you see there in the handshake line, I thought he provided a quick spark when he got in the game.
Yeah, his motor is great.
Yeah,
he's the Energizer Bunny for sure.
Agreed. So we will see if anything changes on the lineup front for Texas. I think they're still figuring a lot of things out.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Rodney Terry played 8 guys. But essentially, he only really played 6. Weaver and I.T. Horton each played 9 minutes. Dylan Disu played 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And then 4 out of the 5 starters played more than 30.
Yeah.
And then Caden Shedrick had 28. And he came out, he got that knee to the back kind of late in the second half. And then, just kind of other foul trouble stuff with Cunningham, Disu a little bit. But yeah, just sort of a weird kind of game. Tyrese Hunter with 20 points. Max Abmas, 18 points on just 12 shots. I thought he only took 3 shots in the first half. If you're the team's most dynamic, most leading scorer, you got to take more than 12 shots. And I know Texas Tech, Pop Isaacs and Chance McMillan did a good job defending him in the first half, where he only took 3 shots. But man, like if you're the team's best scorer, you gotta find ways to get your shot.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, especially if you compare Texas to last year, where they had more guys to get their shot, and Sergio Rice was really that X factor because you knew Marcus Carr could do it. Timmy Allen could even do it a little bit. Dessou later in the season could. And then Sergio Rice has added another threat. And they lose a lot of that. Tyrese can do that. He was kind of hot early, faded a little bit. To me, obviously, Max has to kind of take on that this is my game now role, especially in the game. But for me, the guy that Texas is expecting or was expecting a lot more from, and I really like this guy early in the season, and for some reason he's fallen out of favor. He's barely touching the floor. As you mentioned him, IT Horton. He's kind of their only true wing right now. I view Dylan Mitchell and Brock Cunningham more as fours, especially with how they play the game. You know, Shedrick and Dessou more as bigs as well, of course. So those are the big guys, and obviously Zarek Onyema's a 5, and then they have all these guards. Well, Brock's starting right now, and I don't know if it's him. I guess Mitchell's the de facto 3, but Ithiel Horton's their only true wing player that will get minutes, and he could shoot. I guess it's maybe a defensive thing, but he's barely touching the floor, as you said. And if he is what they're hoping he can be later in the season, that would be such a dynamic piece for them. A guy that can get the shot off and fills that role of a wing player that they really don't have other than him.
We'll see as the year goes on. Next Big 12 games are tomorrow, Tuesday, and Texas heads to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati pulled off probably the biggest upset of the weekend last year. They go to Provo, Utah, take out 12th ranked BYU 71-60. Like that is an eyebrow raising kind of game, especially with Texas coming off this rare home loss to Texas Tech. I'm not knocking Texas Tech. They're a great team, like we've been saying. They probably should be ranked, but for whatever reason they're not. But it was kind of a wild weekend to start Big 12 play. Let's go through. This is last week's ranking. So there were 6 ranked teams from the Big 12 in the AP Top 25. Number 2, Kansas needs a Hunter Dickinson bucket at the buzzer to beat TCU 83-81. That had to have been wild. That was at the Fog in Lawrence. So that was on their turf. Like that would have been an awful loss for the Jayhawks. But they pull out the win. Number 3, Houston, the last remaining unbeaten team in Division I basketball, just absolutely crushed West Virginia 89-55. Number 11, Oklahoma beats Iowa State 71-63. We talked about the BYU game. They're 12. They lose to Cincinnati. Baylor, number 18 in the AP poll, needs overtime to beat Oklahoma State 75-70. And then number 20, Texas, loses to Texas Tech. So the Big 12 is just nuts. Like, it's crazy. And literally, the old cliche of anything can happen on a given night is the Big 12 is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks, I don't want to say it's top heavy, but the teams at the top are incredible. Kansas, yes, they almost lost to TCU, but I'm not worried about Kansas in the slightest. Houston looks as dominant as ever with local product. Jamal Shed from Manor helping out the Cougs there on the east side of Texas. So, yeah, the Big 12, I mean, there could be a random 6 teams in there, and I'm convinced Ronnie Terry and company will say it's the best conference in the country, but they had ammo last year to say it was, and they have even more this year. So it'll be interesting with the Texas men, how they're able to navigate this while they're clearly still figuring some things out, which, I mean, a lot of teams are in college basketball. That's the nature of the business now with transfer portal and things like that, and injuries for Texas. So interesting week ahead for the Longhorns for sure.
And we'd be remiss to not mention the women's team. Obviously, they're 15-1, something like that. Let's see for sure. What do we got? 15-1. 2-1 in conference. They only lost to Baylor, which is where these photos are from. We haven't got any of our own footage yet. We will soon. We'll get our own stuff so we can run it on these live streams on the Horns Report here. But they pick up a big win on the road over West Virginia last week, 70-49, and obviously not having Rory Harmon is a big deal because she was kind of on that path to sort of maybe kind of be in a discussion for a Player of the Year type award, but she tears her ACL, so she's on the shelf for the rest of the season. But freshman point guard, we'll call her, because that's what she's got to play now. Madison Booker,
Point guard.
6'1". This photo right there pretty much says it all. You don't expect a freshman point guard to be able to do anything like that. And there's a nice photo of Vic just sharing pleasantries with the officiating crew against Baylor. But Madison Booker is a special player, man. Like, she's fantastic.
Yeah, Roger Wallace was doing the game with the Texas women up in Morgantown, and he was singing the praises of Madison Booker. I was there for that game against Baylor, which was her first real test against a good team without Rory Harmon. And, man, it's a shame for a number of reasons that Rory had the injury. You know, it's an emotional toll for this Texas team. But to be able to see the confidence that Booker has now with, obviously, a Player of the Year candidate in Harmon would have been so fun to kind of see them work with each other and figure that out through the season. Because, I mean, not to kind of overstate and put too much on Madison Booker's shoulders, but she can be as good as she wants to be. And this Texas coaching staff have been hyping her up for a while, and Vic would just say, there's this girl from Mississippi, you watch out now. And you guys are going to like watching her. And he was right. I mean,
that's a pretty good Vic impression.
Oh, I've been practicing it for a while.
Good.
I've been practicing it for a while. We have a media availability actually tomorrow where we will hear it again. But Madison Booker is outstanding. And while, you know, maybe the ceiling for Texas this year is not as high as once thought with Rory, as Vic says, not that he's saying it in this picture right there, but as Vic has said, he's got some heart in that locker room still, and he believes in this group. So very impressed by what they're doing. Vic was the Big 12 Coach of the Year last year for what he did amidst injuries to Aaliyah Moore, among others. You know, if they keep this up, he'll be right back in that discussion again.
Booker notches her first collegiate double-double against West Virginia, 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists. So she was just a few helpers short of a triple-double. Yeah. She also had 8 turnovers, but I mean, hey, she's a freshman running the point, so you kind of got to take the good with the bad there. If you're Coach Vic Schaefer, she played all 40 minutes. So did Shaylee Gonzalez. She had 15 points. Shaylee Gonzalez is kind of that player where everybody at Texas kind of thought she'd be. She's a tremendous outside shooter, when she came over from BYU a couple years ago. She can her range is just pretty much whenever she walks into the gym, like she could shoot it.
Yeah, the team has a very good roster build. The only real question would have been how Madison Booker, the point guard, would and will eventually play with Rory Harmon in the future. But, you know, in Aaliyah Moore healthy is like their X factor. She was, man, at the end of her freshman year, she was so good. Her and Rory Harmon together, you just could not help but get excited about the future of the program just from an outside perspective and what they're capable of. And then obviously Rory took that next step last year to be in that Big 12 Player of the Year, if not National Player of the Year conversation. Aaliyah Moore was trending that way as well before the injury, which obviously, you know, is as much mental as it is physical, working her way back now. And she kind of broke out in their road game, I believe, against Texas Tech to get their first Big 12 win. And you see some excitement there, working her way back in it. If she can get close to what she was her freshman year, man, this team will be something that nobody in the Big 12 wants to play later in the year.
Right. They're off to a great start, and they've got TCU on Wednesday at Moody Center, 7 p.m. Is the tip-off time there. TCU, much improved from last year. They go 8-23 last season, 1-17 in the Big 12. This year's a bit of a different story, though. They're 14-2 and 2-1 in the Big 12. So TCU's not the automatic dub like they were last season. So we'll see how the Horns handle that.
Yeah, you talked about how good the Big 12 is for men's hoops. For women's hoops, you know, like I said, coaches will always tell you their conference is the best in the country. But for Big 12 women's hoops, it's looking a lot better this year. Baylor, I don't know if they're the power they were when old coach was why am I blanking on?
I believe you mean Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, Kim Mulkey.
Yeah.
Was leading the Bears, but they're obviously very good, and they're the favorite in the conference right now.
Yeah, so the men's team, they're at Cincinnati tomorrow on Tuesday, and then the women's team is in Austin at the Moody Center Wednesday against TCU, 7 p.m. tip time. So if you want to get down there and catch some good hoops, you should do that. And we'll leave it there for this edition of Horns Report. Thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you again soon.